Hoi, we have the Season Pass on the PTR now, and I want to dive into that with you, show you how it works, and also talk about if I think that the Season Pass in particular is pay to win or not. I know I promised the Fire Staff video today, that is coming tomorrow. I realized a lot of things about it that I wanted to go deeper in on, so that takes a little bit more time, but this is something I can show you first. So the first thing that I quickly want to show you here are the rewards you get in the beginning, because they kind of give us a bit of an idea of what you get later, and I've already received them, so I can show you the loot that I got as well. So we have the Season's Welcome Gift, which gives you a random named item, some Umbral Shards, some Gypsum Orb, and if you have the Premium Pass, which is automatically unlocked on the PTR, then you get this Inferno Welcome Chest where you get a Legendary Weapon, Legendary Armor Piece, and Legendary Jewelry. Most other chests down the line are not quite as drastic on the legendary side here, but this is just kind of a starting point, I guess, for buying it. And then I also unlocked some Umbral Shards here, as well as a Tempest Heart Expedition chest. There are quite a few of those on the premium side for different mutation or for different expeditions. Not the worst reward for sure, and I can show you in my storage what I got so far. So what I got from Tempest was Afterthought. That's pretty cool. The other item here, this is the named item I got from the free track, and this is the legendary weapon that I got from the pay track. And if you look at this, you will quickly notice that it has that Season 1 label, and it has a terrible mix of effects, so this is basically trash. And likewise, we have the earring here, which is not trash technically in terms of perks, but then it's full focus, for which you don't really want refreshing ward, so it's also trash. And then I have the breastplate here, which is also trash. So I was very worried about the gear from the past being too good, because they said that they would have better perk buckets for the items, like that they can roll better, more powerful perks on the legendary tracks, or not more powerful perks, but have a higher chance to roll certain perk combinations, better perk combinations. I looked into the buckets as they are on PTR right now. Those might change down the line, but at the moment they really aren't better than any other gear you can craft. Like, this is a guaranteed legendary, that's the upside of it. So if you're rolling here, you're rolling a guaranteed legendary, but you have no lock perks or anything, and for most of these items the perks aren't particularly good. So yeah, on the Warhammer, for example, the highest chance I think are like Keen and Vicious or something. So there may be like one or two outliers that have really good perks, but generally speaking, most of the items that you get from the Premium Pass are not overwhelming and are gonna break the meta and give everyone even close to best in slot, really. Before we go through all the rewards, let's quickly look at how we unlock them. So you see the level that I have up here from doing a few activities, and there are different ways to progress. So per level is always 2750 XP. The first thing that you can do are these chapters, which are basically quests. So for example, one of them is just reach level 60, and then you can claim the first points, or I started the new quest line that came out, and that gives you 1750 points. The other tasks here, like for example, complete any expedition, we can look down here a little bit. There's just a bunch of different activities in the game that you can do. You don't have to complete all of them in order to get these special rewards. So down here you get some human items, human perk items. In order to get these, you need to complete 5 of the objectives, so you can kind of choose for yourself which ones you want to do. And this progression continues in the same way for the next chapter. Again, there are different rewards related to quests and expeditions, town projects, whatever you want to do. And then at the end you get some infused fire absorption potions for the new expedition, as well as an extra bunch of Season Pass XP. Obviously a lot more here with the 4500. Again, you only need to complete 5 of the objectives, but you also need to have completed the first chapter. On the third chapter, we see the same thing. We need to complete the previous chapter, and then you have 5 objectives that you can do once again. The quest line continues here. As you can tell, it just kind of progresses through all the chapters, and along with that, there are always certain challenges that you can do or choose for yourself. And a lot of them revolve around the new expedition as well, or can be done with the Season Pass, especially here the Flame Core Forge, because the Flame Core rewards all come from the Season Pass or from the new expedition. And then you get extra Flame Cores after that as well. In Chapter 4, things scale up a little bit. You now need to complete 7 objectives, and the quests are also a lot bigger, a lot larger numbers here. You need to kill 500 level 60 Varangian Knights, though I hope this includes the ones in the expedition, 40 town projects, that type of stuff. So yeah, this is gonna be quite a fair bit to do. Some are easier than others, so 2 invasions, for example, will actually encourage people to do invasions, so I guess that's nice. And then at the end you get this skin here, or the skin set rather. 5th chapter, once again you need to do 7 objectives here and do the previous one. But yeah, there's quite a few manageable ones. Others more difficult. Kill 50 players in open world is just not something that's very easy in New World at the moment, because there aren't that many players flagged in open world most of the time. So yeah, it'll be not the quickest thing to do for sure, or force you to do some activities you normally don't do, like maybe trials. So it's gonna take a while, but the reward here is a specific trophy that doesn't count towards your trophy maximum, and this gives you a 5% bonus to all season XP gained during season 1. This is no longer working in season 2, so it's kind of weird, because I feel like by the time you've done all of this stuff, it's probably the end of the season anyways, for most players. So you're not going to benefit from this trophy that much, but I guess it'll look nice afterwards and you can say, look, I completed this fully, and you get an extra title. Outside of the chapters, there are also the challenges, which don't have a specific reward in that sense. I think they have the challenges score here though, it seems. But the thing about them is that they actually provide relatively little points in comparison for the most part, given that some of them are a lot, like doing 100 outpost rush matches. It's not exactly something that most players do, or kill 500 players in the open world, so these ones are more of the hardcore things that you really have to grind for, and I guess they give you bragging rights to some degree. Also notable here, one of the tasks is complete 25 M10 expeditions with a gold rating or higher. Very curious what that means, because currently the highest rating is gold. But aside of the journey, there are also the activity cards. So the activity cards are kind of a mini game. You can see the tasks here on the left, so these are just random things that you can do in the world that are relatively quick and easy to do for the most part, like for example participate in 33 arenas 3 times it seems, or kill 10 enemies with bows or guns, complete a mutated expedition. So many of these are fairly easy and quick, and you can also re-roll them, which is really nice. So the way this works is you have these banners here and they correspond to the activity logos. So for example, as you can see, I have completed the kill 10 enemies with bows or guns. So I get this sword here, and the sword is on this board twice. So I can now choose one of these swords and unlock that. And as you can see, that gives 250 points reward. So I'm just going to use this one here. And you can see my track goes up a little bit. I get those 250 points, and this is now marked off. The goal with this card is to fill the card entirely, and that gives you bonus points. You filling a line gives you 400 points, so if I got another one here, I would get the 250 points from this card, and then another 400 bonus points. And if you complete the entire card, it gives you 300 extra XP. So up to 8,300 XP for an entire card, and once this card is done, the next card will show basically an empty card again, and you get new missions along with that. So you don't ever need to complete all of the missions. But if you don't like the missions, you can also re-roll. This is down here, you can just re-roll the activities. I'm not going to do it right now, but this is a very nice way to play the game however you like, basically, and if the missions that you get are just something that doesn't suit your playstyle, you say, okay, let's try again. The re-roll, the first one is actually free, and then afterwards it goes up by 100 Azoth per re-roll. So if you're rich enough to buy a lot of Azoth, I suppose you can just shortcut it a lot and just do exactly the type of quests that you want to do. I very much like this. I think this is a nice way to progress without being too focused on it, because it just gives you some random side activity rewards that you otherwise wouldn't get. I feel like this somewhat brings back the feeling of leveling up and just getting rewarded for progressing through the game in a way, something that you kind of miss out on a level 60 a bit. And now let's have a look at the actual rewards here. So you've already seen what's in these first chests, and outside of that we also have these XP boosters. These are a bit controversial because they effectively increase your progression, which for example is the case if you haven't maxed all weapons yet. You get stuff like suspended Azoth as well, you get some marks of fortune, which kind of return some of the cost that you have if you want to buy the season pass, but technically you can also just not buy it and still get some marks of fortune and basically maybe eventually get a skin for free from that. But as you can see down here, you obviously get a fair bit more because you already need to spend 20,000 to even get the premium pass. Apparently, if you complete the entire pass, you get slightly under half of the cost for the premium pass back, so not too bad of a deal there. And then we have other boosters here, like the territory standing booster. We also have the gathering booster, and we also have some dyes, gypsum orbs, and then we have a complete skin set. Obviously, the premium pass comes with a variety of skins as well. You have the gathering tool skins, tent skin, you get an emote here, so a bunch of different things, but you definitely get that skin set on the free track too, so that's pretty nice. On the premium tag, you can see we have an Inferno Combatants chest here, so you get some different, relatively expensive resources here, but those can also drop now, so they're probably going to go down in price a little bit anyways. But then if we go further into the season pass, there are certain things here, again this is the gear that we're getting, but there are certain rewards that are a bit more valuable. I'm trying to get to them here right now. Here for example, you can see the Inferno crafting chest with just all of these cooldown mats. Again, this is just a fair amount of overall value that you get out of the premium track. You get a small amount of resources again on the unpaid track, on the free track, and generally you can see that the free track in terms of rewards kind of reflects what you get on the lower track, but usually in a worse form. So for example, in the season's weapon gift, you get 3 weapons, but only 1 from Inferno weapon chest. Then at the same time here, you get the Inferno weapon chest. So again, giving you a bit of an incentive saying, hey, yeah, you could just get the basic version of this, or you could get the upgraded version of the same thing. Often, not always. Like here, you go, for example, get the flame course, and here you get the skin. At this point, I'm just going to go through this, hover this quickly so you can see a little bit what's going on. And I want to talk a little bit about the whole pay to win or not pay to win thing. So there's nothing in here that makes you win as such. Again, the gear that you're getting is comparatively probably the weakest part of what you're getting out of this, because the random rolls, at least at right now, aren't particularly good. And I would be surprised if they drastically change the perks. Some rewards in general are just not very great, like this one, by the way. But I do think that what you definitely get out of the premium track primarily is financial value in terms of gold that you don't need to spend in-game, because you get a lot of resources cheap, or free essentially, but with real-life money. So it's kind of like buying oak flesh for real money or something, in a sense. Here, for example, you actually get gold as well. You just straight up get 3,000 gold. That is definitely affecting the player economy somewhat, and I would generally label this battle pass, here's by the way a house pet, as pay to progress to some degree. You're not going to get massive progression on most things, but for example, you have those territory standing boosters. Those will definitely allow you to progress. And otherwise, you just save time on gold farming. Here, for example, you get some flame cores, which are otherwise from the new expedition, so you can do some less runs of that essentially. So yeah, at least I think they are from the expedition. But yeah, so there is definitely reason to think that this is not quite fair, in a sense that you do get a disadvantage by not buying the premium pass here. At the same time, I don't think this disadvantage is particularly massive. I don't think that the rewards that you're getting here are drastically gonna overhaul the experience for most players. It's maybe, if you throw everything in the pass together, I would guess somewhere below 50,000 gold. I don't know how much exactly. If we just sell everything, it depends on the server prices and all that. Maybe it's like 20,000 gold, 30,000 gold, but it's not something that would entirely destroy markets. For some players that never farm gold, 30,000 may be a lot, but for most that are actively farming gold or playing a bit on the trading post, 30,000 is not really that much. Therefore, I personally don't mind it that much. I don't have a big problem with it. I think I've gotten plenty of fun out of New World, considering it's less than a normal AAA priced game. I've played it for way more than 2,000 hours by now, so I'm fine with spending a little bit and supporting the game a little bit through that, in place of essentially paying a monthly fee. So you're not forced to pay the monthly fee, and instead you can choose to buy the battle pass for similar price to a monthly fee in other MMOs, considering you get a lot of the tokens back. So yeah, you know, pay around $12, I guess, depending on currency and all that. But that seems fair to me, considering the season lasts 3 months as well. That's like $4 per month, roughly, again. And that assumes that you finish the whole pass. Not the worst. I think that's okay. I think that's an okay price. And if you're not choosing to get the rewards, again, you're not losing out on that much. By the way, you can see that towards the end here, there's a lot of legendary stuff. So you're gonna get a fair few more legendaries on the last track. But again, these are not necessarily particularly good items. They're just guaranteed legendaries. The last rewards here are not showing yet. I'm assuming this is where the gear slot will be, the gear set slot. Otherwise, I wouldn't know where it is because I haven't seen it anywhere. I'm not sure what the reward on the premium tag will be. There was a screenshot where it was already shown that the AGS team posted, but it only showed a chest here, so I'm not sure what you actually get there. Season Pass, in my opinion, not pay to win. Definitely a little bit pay to progress. Not massively drastic. You're not going to massively fall behind, but it makes a little bit of a difference. I am okay with it. I think it's fine if the team gets a little bit of money to keep this game running. That's worth it to me personally, even though I don't particularly care about most of the rewards myself. Now, what this pay-to-win conversation does not include is a mention of gear set storage. We can look at that real quick here. This is what it looks like. You have 2 by default, which is way too little. That is something I'll talk about more at another time, and if you want to see that, hit subscribe and click the bell. And also, we'll be talking about the fire staff and about the musket. I already have my accuracy musket ready, so I can talk about all the things that you want to know about very, very soon. If you want to make some extra gold, probably more than you will get from the season pass, then consider supporting me on Patreon. I regularly post trading tips there at the moment for things that I think will go up in value with the next patch. Thanks to my patrons for supporting this video, and thank you for watching. SLOTH out.